Bershus, with the permission of friends old and new. Tonight we embark on the third Mishnah in Pirkei Avot, in our continuing effort to deliver Pirkei Avot every single day until we are finished. Rabbi, in the past we've discussed each and most of the concepts that are found in each of the Mishnayos, but tonight I'd like to try something a tad different. Tonight I'd like to discuss more of the who and the what and the history, rather than delve deeply within the actual maxim or dictum that is being discussed in the Mishnah itself. The Mishnah, the third Mishnah, goes as follows. Antignos of Socho, kibel mishimon hatzadik. Antignos, a man from Socho, he acquired the Torah and Masorah from Shimon the just, Shimon the righteous. He used to say, don't be like those servants who serve their master in order to acquire a prize or reward at the end of the day. Ella, rather, be like those servants who serve their master without any expectation of a reward altogether. And Antignos concludes, and the fear of heaven should be upon you. During the time of Antignos, the secular culture of the Greeks burst into and onto the life of Judea, creating a culture crisis. Now, with such a close economic and spiritual contact with the surrounding Hellenic world, Judea could not avoid the general process of assimilation or Hellenization. The Hellenists, as the admirers of Greek culture were called, began by adopting innocent Greek games and entertainments, and ended by the loss and abandonment of a great deal of their Jewish moral virtues and Jewish traditions. Jewish youths appeared naked in their games. Homosexual acts became popular and rampant. The theater and the gymnasium replaced the Beis HaKnesses and the Beis HaMedrash, and they even adopted Greek names. By way of stark contrast, the Jews of ancient Egypt, upon their exodus from Pharaoh's bondage, earned their emancipation and their freedom by preserving their externalistic Jewish monikers and identity. As we all know, Lo shinu eshmam, they didn't change their names, those Jews of ancient Egypt. Lo shinu esh malbusham, they preserved their distinct Jewish mode of dress. V'lo shinu es l'shonam, and they indeed preserved their distinct and unique Jewish language. Now, within this religio-toxic atmosphere and environment, is born our Antignos, a man from Socho. Only one statement is attributable to his name, nothing else. But Rabbi, from this one and only recorded statement of Antignos, Antignos' two most very, very famous students, Talmidim, Tzadok and Botis, mistakenly interpreted the dictum al tiyu ka'avodim ha'mishamshnes harav al menas l'kabel pras. Don't be like those servants who serve their master in order to acquire a reward. And these two students, Tzadok and Botus, they extrapolated from this one dictum of Antignos, a denial of the afterlife, a rejection of Torah Shebal Peh, the oral law, and a rebuttal of the doctrine of Tchiyas HaMesim. They would say, is it possible that a laborer should toil all day and not receive his just rewards in the evening? Schar b'hayal maleka? Is there no reward in this world altogether? From these two students, one can suggest the following. Hellenization, Greek culture, cracked the crystal purity and clarity of Yiddishkeit. But with the advent of Tzadok and Botis, who both established the schools of the Sadducees, the Tzdukim, and the Bothesians, the fissures in the crystal were spreading. Regardless, ultimately, in all that you do in life, Antignos teaches and concludes, V'hi moira shamayim aleichem. You should still and always have the fear of God upon you. Now, we have been discussing the transmission of Torah and Messiah. Note the qualitative change in leadership from Shimon HaTzadik to Antignos. Shimon was a patriarch. He was a Cohen Gadol in the Beis HaMikdash. He dialogued with prophets and kings, with Nevi'im and Melachim. He was the acclaimed leader of Yiddishkeit, whose fame spread far and wide, known for his piety and scholarship. And yet, as my father, Rabbi Yaakov Simcha Cohen, posits, in one generation, in just simply one generation, the torch of Jewish leadership goes to a man bearing a Greek name, living in a provincial small town. Antignos ish Socho. Antignos, a man from Socho, Kibel Mishimon HaTzadik. He acquired the transmission of the Torah from Shimon HaTzadik, from Simon the Just. Torah, Rabbi, as my father says, is not and cannot be the sole heritage of the famous and urban chic. We do not know the pedigree or lineage of Antignos, but one thing is crystal clear. Antignos was the acclaimed leader of our Torah and Messiah. My father says this teaches us one very important and distinct lesson. Jewish leadership is available to all. It matters not where you live or who are your ancestors. Every single Jew has a right to strive for Jewish leadership. If I can use a play on words from the introduction from Pirkei Avot, Kol Yisrael yesh lem chelek leTorah ugedulah. Every Jew. Good night.